Hi, I'm going to make some chocolate cookies with some peppermint chunks that we found at the grocery store. I've got a cup of softened butter. I'm going to add a cup and a half of sugar to that. And then we're going to put it on the mixer here and blend that up till it's nice and fluffy. So it's been a minute or two. You'll see it's just a light yellow. Blend it all together. I'm going to add 2 eggs, large, extra large. They're in that range. I think that one was an extra large. And we'll just beat them in one at a time. And be sure and scrape your sides down and scrape the bottom so that you get this all mixed in. Get a little better under the light here. And so you'll see it's just a nice light yellow. It's kind of fluffy. And get it that way. We'll get it scraped down. We'll start adding the rest of the stuff. So I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That's pretty much the end of this bottle of my homemade vanilla. Yeah, we might as well. I don't want the vanilla beans. It's time to drag out the new bottle. I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of baking powder. And we'll add a half a teaspoon of salt. That's the baking powder. I really like the Bob's Red Mill baking powder if you can find it. It doesn't have aluminum in it. I save my can and just keep refilling it. If you can't find the Bob's Red Mill, the Rumford is aluminum free as well, but I really prefer the Bob's Red Mill brand. We just want to start off on low on this, and just until it's all mixed. And again, always scrape, scrape, scrape. Get everything mixed together until you don't see any streaks of yellow from the butter and sugar. Move the beater out of the way. The recipe does call for 3 tablespoons of coffee. I don't usually add that. You can. It doesn't add a coffee flavor. It just enhances the cocoa a little bit, but I honestly don't think it needs it. I think it's pretty good without it. But you can add. it. Beater cleaned.
The best part's going to be looking out the bowl and the beater.
Yep. And that's your job.
Yep.
Now that that's all mixed, we're going to add 2 2/3 cup of flour. And what I'll do is I'll add a cup and we'll turn it on low and what's on the stove. And there's 2/3. And we're just going to let this all mix in. And what I'm going to add, these are Ghirardelli peppermint chunks, and they're pretty good sized chunks. So I'm going to chop them up. I think that's too big for put in a cookie.
Yeah.
So we're going to chop them up a little bit. And I'll probably add about a cup of those. And I'm going to add probably a couple walnuts as well. So we'll dice those up and toss them in. From what I can tell by tasting them, I hadn't seen these before. They're just like in a white chocolate base, I believe it is, peppermint diced up. Just a rough chop. And we'll just add those in. Just a quick little mix here. I think I'll add a little bit more. You can make these as fine or as big as you want. You can leave them that size if you wanted to, but I think it works a little better if they're just a little bit smaller anyway.
Chunks.
Your regular chunks. And I'll finish mixing that in by hand, and I'm just going to chop up a few walnuts. And there's about a cup of chopped walnuts as well. And you can use any kind of nut you like. Pecans would be good. Almonds would be good. Or even leave them out if you prefer, but we like nuts.
Hazelnut would even be good.
Yep, anytime nut would be good in here. Yep. Whatever your preference is. We'll just lightly mix them in. And I'm going to get my oven preheated to 350. Should have had that going. I like to line my sheets with parchment paper. Makes cleanup easier. Helps keep them from sticking. Works well. So I have a tablespoon scoop that I use. It makes about a 2-inch cookie, I guess. It just makes it easier. You can make these any size you want. You can use your hands, a spoon to misshape them. The dough's a little sticky, not terrible. But and I'm going to flatten them just a little bit. So if I remember right, they don't flatten a lot. And they are going to bake for 8 to 10 minutes. We'll check them at 8. I always prefer to check at the lower end. Everybody's oven is different. And even sometimes my oven works different from time to time, so
depending on humidity.
Yeah, depending on how fussy it wants to be. So I'll get those in and we'll get another tray scooped and we'll see you when those are done. Quite done at 8 minutes. I did them for another 2, so a total of 10 minutes. You'll see that while the top is still shiny, it's starting to look a little bit dry and you're starting to get a few cracks. They're still very soft. Just let them sit on the cookie sheet for probably a good 4 to 5 minutes and then we'll take them off and they'll finish setting up.